Hello there, my Maple Leaf fans. Well, I'll take you live to the pre-game conference before tomorrow night's puck drop for round one against the Ottawa Senators. So I'm gonna have every single Leaf playoff highlights for you until they get eliminated. So enjoy this pre-game. I'm gonna kick it live right now for the pre-game media day availability.
So what's the feeling like going into game tomorrow?
Well, I mean, I think it's excitement for sure. It's a long season. You go through a lot of ups and downs to put yourself in this position. So, you feel like we put in the work, we've prepared. Got to go out there and execute, take it one game at a time, one shift at a time, and compete, play as a team for one another, and just go from there.
Brady Tkachuk hasn't played in the playoffs, but you, of course, saw him up close at the Four Nations in those high-leverage games. What stood out, and what sort of challenges are they going to be in this series?
Yeah, I mean, he's a competitor. He's a guy that, he's going to do whatever it takes. And, physically, he's going to be around the net. So, he's going to be a guy that we have to do a good job on in all aspects of that area.
What did you learn about Sanderson being around in there?
Yeah, great player. I think just especially in that setting when you're around guys more and you're skating together and stuff like that, you really realize how gifted and how talented some guys are and skilled and stuff like that. And that's kind of was my takeaway with him. And like I said, similar to Brady, he's another guy that we got to key on, make sure we're limiting his time and space out there, and making sure that we know where he is at all times because he's very elusive.
Austin, a lot of people think the club is more playoff ready than Craig, if you will. What does that mean to you as the players? What does that look like to you, being more playoff ready?
I don't know what that means. I mean, I think we've, obviously changed personnel. We've changed, coaches, stuff like that. Maybe we played a little bit of a different style of game that you maybe think is more suitable to playoffs. But in the end, I mean, it's about executing, going out there and doing the right things, playing as a team, competing, physical, all that stuff. So, I maybe I agree with you, but I don't know. There's always different things, different circumstances when you go into a new season and stuff like that, especially when you have a new coaching staff, new personnel, stuff like that.
Would you agree maybe though that it seems more difficult to play against Royals?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that's kind of been the message that they've wanted to, imply here from the beginning is just being harder to play against, and I think we've definitely done that throughout the year. And now's the time of the year that you got to put it all together. And I think over the last couple of weeks, we've competed hard. I think our game's been trending in the right direction, which is always a positive at this time of the year.
They have a lot of guys who are making their playoff debuts in key roles. How much does playoff experience matter? I guess you guys were in a similar position when you're going to that Washington series where you're going up against a team that had been there before many years, and you guys were all making your debuts. How much do you find playoff experience matters?
I mean, I think it matters. I think in the end, once you kind of step out on the ice, it's, you get a feel for what it is pretty quickly. So, I don't know. I'm focused on this team, focused on our mindset going into it and everything like that, and making sure that we're prepared and, we know that they're going to be ready to play as well.
Chief said after the last game that the player that surprised him the most was Matthew Knies in terms of how quickly he developed. So what have you seen from him this season and the chemistry that you guys have built heading into the postseason?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's taken huge strides. He's second full year in the league, and I think he's just going to continue to get better. And I thought this year he took a big step for us, and I think it's tough. It's hard with young guys sometimes. You never really know how they're going to adjust to your second season. It's a grind, and it's a lot of games, travel, everything that kind of comes into it. But he's a great pro. He's already I think learned a lot from maybe different guys and stuff like that, and works hard every single day, has a good attitude, and been a lot of fun to play with him this year, especially both of us being from Arizona and knowing each other growing up. It's pretty cool to be playing with each other.
From your end, what is the city like when the playoffs are going on?
It's definitely a different buzz to it for sure. I mean, it's the weather starts to kind of warm up a little bit. A lot more people outside. The traffic gets worse, and there's definitely a different buzz to it. It's always exciting.
Mitch, you go through this, gone through this a lot, many times now. Does each year feel a little bit differently when you're heading into the playoffs?
I don't know. I mean, I think you always still get the same feeling of just excitement, the butterflies, just kind of ready to take it on.
Mitch, they got a lot of guys who are making their playoff debuts. What do you remember about your first playoff series? You're going up against a Washington team that had been there a lot. Like, did it matter, playoff experience?
I think you go both ways on that. I don't know. I mean, obviously on one side you just got so much excitement to finally be there and finally do it. From my experience, it was just Washington was just so calm and steady. Obviously, they had a lot of veterans on their team that knew what they were doing. So, we got to make sure we do that. Just have the same excitement and same will.
Looks like Jake's ready to return. How would you describe what he's meant to the team this year, especially playing beside Tanev on that pair?
Yeah, it's been amazing. I think their play speaks for itself. Just what they do, obviously 5-on-5. How much they help us out on the PK as well, just with their communication, their play, their blocked shots. And 5-on-5, the same thing. I mean, they play with a lot of intensity, and that's something you love out of your deep pair.
What's the key for the penalty kill in this series, do you think?
Obviously try to stay to the box as much as possible. They got a good power play there that makes plays, get pucks around the net. Big guys that kind of make those little quick plays with one another and can find backdoor plays. So just make sure we're communicating out there, talking a lot, trying to get shared clears as much as we can, trying to get down ice pressure, and try to limit those plays backdoor and down low.
Chief said after the last game that the player that surprised him the most this season was Matthew Knies in terms of how quickly he developed. What have you learned about him as a player? He's still pretty young in this league heading into this postseason.
I don't know why we keep saying like we're surprised. I mean, I've known Knies, he's a hell of a player for a long time. I mean, I think everyone saw that when he was in Minnesota. Maybe they were just surprised to see it kind of pull over into the NHL, but we're not. I mean, he's a big body, obviously. He moves very well on the ice. He can make plays. He can beat people one-on-one pretty easily down low in corners as well. So, for Austin and I, we're just trying to find him in good areas, put him in good areas. He's been a hell of a forecheck of the season as well, getting pucks back, using his body down there. So, we're just trying to find him in good areas. He's been very good around the slot area, net front, tipping pucks, getting us second opportunities.
What makes the city so special during the playoffs?
Obviously just the vibe in it, the excitement, the passion. That's something that you're very lucky and fortunate to have.
Any more pressure on you guys, given that Mitch, a lot of people think this is going to finally break through the first round and move on to opportunities?
I don't think we're caring about any of that. We're focused as a team in here. We're not focused on anything outside of what people are saying. So, it's going to be a grind. It's going to be ups and downs. You just got to stay together and stick through it, and lean on one another. And like I said, it's not going to be perfect every single night, and you just got to be ready to pick each other up.
Almost a decade in, has your confidence grown in like your ability to grow a playoff mustache, or pretty much the same stay there?
I think it'll grow it a little more. Hopefully, a little longer timing. So, we'll see how that goes.
Good to go for tomorrow for game one?
Yeah, pumped, ready to rock.
What impact, if any, do you expect the time away from games to have on you?
Fresher legs.
They don't have a ton of playoff experience. You made your playoff debut for the first time a couple of years ago. Like, how much does playoff experience matter, do you think?
I think it's important. I learned certainly a lot my first go around. There's lots of ups and downs throughout the series, and you just got to stay level-headed. And obviously, very emotional games, very physical games, competitive. So just manage those emotions and stay disciplined.
How much extra confidence does it give the team seeing the way both your goalies have played down the stretch of the regular season?
Yeah, not even just down the stretch, honestly, all year long. They've been rock solid for us, winning us hockey games on some nights when we don't have it, and they're making key save after key save and timely saves. It's been all year long, so it's super important here going into the playoffs, having both our guys going as well as they have been.
I know it's a fresh slate between Nicky and winning the playoffs and all that, but how can you guys carry the last couple of weeks here into this thing, losing once in 12 games and that sort of thing?
Yeah, I think the last so really since the trade deadline, we added a couple great pieces to our group, and having those guys get involved and find their footing, frankly, because I've been through the trade. It's not easy. So I think those guys are getting more comfortable too, and providing chemistry with different lines and different deep pairs. So I think it's gone well, and we've obviously been working very hard to get to this point, and working on our game and trying to be consistent to be ready to go tomorrow.
What do you like most about how you guys have played coming down the stretch?
Yeah, I thought we've been pretty stingy, honestly. Our 5-on-5 game has been real solid. I think that's when you go into the playoffs, you want to be real solid at 5-on-5, not giving up much. And we already talked about the goaltenders, and special teams are a huge thing in the playoffs as well. Being stingy on the kill, being disciplined, not giving them opportunities, and when we do have a power play, cash in. So getting all those parts of our games kind of firing is important.
What stands out about Brady Tkachuk and the biggest challenge you see in defending against him in this series?
Yeah, he's a load, right? He's a big guy. He's strong. He's powerful. He's heavy. He loves to get on the forecheck. Loves living around the net. So you got to get into him early, and just be aware where he is in front of the net, and try to get those box outs and solve their forecheck.
What's improved for you guys? You blow your own blue line this year.
Pardon?
You blow your own blue line. What's improved in the display?
In our D zone?
Yeah.
I think we're all on the same page. We've done a good job of protecting the middle of the ice, being patient at times when they do maybe have some zone time. I think we've been patient in those areas and blocking a lot of shots. I think we've done a really good job of that this year. I know Taney set some record this year. I don't know exactly what it was, but just guys committed and blocking shots and doing whatever it takes to keep the puck out of our net.
How do you think Brendan Carlos fit into this team?
I think he's getting traded, like I just kind of alluded to, is not an easy thing to do. So especially with a young family like Brandon, but I think he's really, especially these last couple of weeks, found his footing with our team and our group. And I've played against him a lot over the years, so we all know what what he brings to our team, and just hard, heavy, steady. He's very talkative out there. He's very vocal on the kill too, which is great. And you can hear his voice, and that's usually a good sign when guys are getting comfortable.
So you were asked this already, but can you speak to the ability to fill in when guys that are hurt all year long, starting with Austin?
Yeah, I think we've done management's done a good job of providing us with great depth throughout our organization all year. I think coming into this year, we knew we were going to be a deep team. Me and Noah have been out a little bit here, and Mizey and Dakota stepped in seamlessly. So that's important. Injuries are going to pop up in the playoffs too. So hopefully not, but you know how it goes, and all year long, guys have filled in bottom six, top six. All through the deep areas, we've mixed and matched. So it's been good all year long.
In your time here, what has stood out most about this city when the playoffs are going on?
I think there's certainly a buzz around the city. I feel it walking my kids around the block and seeing my neighborhood, seeing a lot of Leafs flags. It's the weather's changing obviously too, so you can enjoy the outside a little bit longer and not have to have a big heavy jacket on. So I'm looking forward to that, the weather changing and just getting outside with the kids and seeing the fans out in the neighborhood and interacting with people around town. It's always nice to hear good luck and go Leafs go.
You good to go tomorrow?
Felt good the last couple of days, so we'll see tomorrow.
What's the key? Craig was telling us this guy is tough. He can play through things. When you're not 100%.
He said that?
That's what he said.
Nice, I'll take it.
High praise. He's a pretty tough guy.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, but like I said, I think this time of the year, it's a little bit of bruises here and there. So, but yeah, I feel good. So we'll see tomorrow.
What is it that you love about this time of year? And does it help you get through it when you're not 100%, the extra kind of adrenaline and buzz?
Yeah, I think it's not a lot of games that you feel 100%. Obviously, it's a lot of games, 82 games. It's a grind. But at the same time, I think that's what you can prepare for in the summer to be feeling good this time of the year too. And I'm looking forward to it. And I know our team is prepared and been looking really good. So we're excited.
How do you think Brendan Carlos fit into this decor?
It's been great. I think, it's not easy to kind of get into a new team like that. And I think he's been very steady, moving the puck well, and obviously eating pucks out there. So it's been really good, fun to see him play.
You've played with Matthew. What's the challenge that you're going to have to go up against with Brady Tkachuk?
No, I think obviously they have a lot of good players on that team, and obviously they made the playoffs, so it's going to be a tough series. But he's a good player, make plays out there, can score big goals, and yeah, he's pretty good at grinding too. So it's going to be fun to play against him.
Anthony Stoller's won his last 8 starts, 3 shutouts in his last 4. You've had the benefit of watching from high in the last few games. What stands out to you about how much space he's taken up right
No, I think I said that when the beginning of the year. He's so calm in the net, and he kind of reads the next play. He's 1 and 2 steps ahead of everything. So no, he's been looking really good. I think Waller both goalies have been unbelievable this year. So really fortunate to have two really good goalies.
What was Anthony like during the playoff run last year? Obviously, you only got into that one game, but what did you pick up from what you saw from him down the stretch last year?
No, I think he's one of those guys that likes to keep it light in the room, and I think that benefits his game. I think that's how he goes. Not saying that he's serious, but I think that's the way he approaches things, and I think that helps him being the best version of himself.
The Senators have a lot of guys who are making their playoff debuts. This is a veteran team. How much does playoff experience matter, do you think, in a series like this?
No, I think it matters. I think it's good to know what you're getting yourself into, but it's so many different things that happens out there, so you gotta be able to kind of adapt and kind of, it's gonna be ups and downs in a series, and it's the team that kind of handles that the best, that comes out of it usually. So I think it matters, but same with that being said, I think we gotta focus on what we have to do there and just come out and play like we've been playing all year. I really feel comfortable about the system and the group that we have here, so it's been good.
What did you play at that end of the last game? Like, what you don't get many breakaways. Like, what are you thinking, or what did you see on that?
Yeah, I should probably have dumped it. Probably been a better outcome, but yeah, Willa made a good pass, and I was trying to score, obviously, but I went down. But yeah, it's history now.
Been a long time, what's a chance like this mean to you?
It's exciting for sure. I think all the hard work that we've put in this season, I think, is kind of leading up to tomorrow. So I think the whole team's chomping at the bit to get ready here.
What did you learn last year just being a part of it? I know you got in one game in the final, Anthony, but watching Sergei do what he did and the pressures of playing in a Stanley Cup run.
Just the ups and the downs. Every game's basically a one-game series. You have to have a short-term memory, but just being able to watch a true pro like him last year helped me a lot and has prepared me to get ready for this year.
Why do you think, with your first Stanley Cup playoff start, why do you think that won't be a big issue for you?
Just my demeanor. I'm extremely blessed and grateful to be able to play this game, and the way I look at it, just another game. Just go out there, have fun. I'm a competitor, so to be able to battle with the 20 other guys that are going to be out there, it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to it.
Craig said yesterday, same rink size, same surface, all that sort of things. That you have to have one kind of.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a prime example. It's perfect. At the end of the day, it's the same game. We played 82 of them this year. We've been playing our whole lives, so you just want to go out there and enjoy the moment. It's obviously special to play in the playoffs, and we're not going to take it for granted for sure.
What do you like about your play here, riding in with 3 shutouts, 4 games, 8 consecutive wins, going in at a high?
Honestly, I think it's the team around me that's kind of helped me, be able to succeed. We've kind of, grabbed the bull by the horns and really, played a great two-way game, and the guys have really made my job a lot easier. And any mistakes or rebounds I leave out there, I think we broke the franchise record, the one game for block shots. So you can just see the commitment level is there, and the guys know what it takes, and we just have to go out and execute in the series.
Where does your demeanor come from? You mentioned the other day, you don't want to be the weirdo like a lot of goalies are. Like, where does your demeanor come from?
I think it's just the ups and downs I've had during my career. Just kind of going through a lot, and I had a couple of knee surgeries, so I just think that I'm just grateful every time I go out there, and just go out there and have some fun. It's like I said, it's extremely special. We have a special group in this room, and I'm looking forward to getting out there and battling with them.
Florida's known as a team that's difficult to play against. Being in that locker room, coming to this locker room, do you think the Leafs have crafted an identity as well as being a team that's just really difficult to play against?
Yeah, I think right from the start of training camp, Chief kind of instilled that we're going to play a hard forechecking game, a two-way game, and I think the guys have really done a great job of buying in. I think the acquisitions that we had, Lots, Brando, I think they've made a huge difference. Just the way they've come in and have smoothly transitioned to the locker room, and I think they're going to be a big part of our run. But guys have experience the last couple of years playing in playoff games, and I think everyone's just ready to get started here.
As a goalie heading into the playoffs, what does it mean to have a defenseman like Chris Tanev out there in front of you?
I'm glad he's on my team. You look at the amount of shots him, Kaber, all those guys block. It definitely makes your job a lot easier, and you're definitely appreciative of what they do.
What stood out to you about how Bobrovsky approached Game 7 of the Cup final last year? And is there anything you can take away from just the way he approached those big moments?
It was kind of another day for Bobby. So nothing changed. He had the same routine. We still talked. We still did our little routines in the morning and before the game. So I think that was the biggest thing. You couldn't really tell if it was a preseason game or Game 7. His demeanor was the same as it would have been in each one.
What stands out most about Linus Ullmark as a goaltender?
I just think his size and his ability to move laterally. Obviously a big goalie, and that definitely helps, and it forces shooters to kind of make a perfect shot. But if you get him moving, he's also pretty agile.
It's been a rotation for much of the year for you guys. I know obviously Joseph missed time. Playoffs, it's like intense games every day, could be overtime. How would you describe your readiness for the grind of playoff hockey?
It's kind of what you train for in the summers, and all the workouts and the treatments you get during the season. So my body feels good. I'm excited for it, and obviously you're not really going to practice too much, so you kind of have those days in between, and you have some travel days. So it gives you a little time to recover there.
What did you take away from the season series against the Senators, if anything, or is it ancient history?
Definitely, I think you have to look at it and just be like, the style of game they play. Obviously the results are the results, but, it's a new season here. So I think we're just going to go back, look at the film, and just kind of see what type of game that they play. We know that they're a big, heavy team, and they like to throw pucks at the net. So, it's just something we have to be ready for.
What stood out about how Oliver handled the playoff run for the Panthers last year, OEL?
He's another vet. He's been in the league a long time, and he's been a captain, so he knows what it takes to win. He knows he was someone who kind of went out there for us and made some big plays, played in some big minutes, and I think that experience that he has is going to be able to help the guys here this year.
Stoller's getting set for his first Stanley Cup playoff start. Usually experience is important. Why do you think it maybe won't matter for a guy like him?
Well, he has. He has experience in the playoffs. He didn't start, but he has experience of being there and seeing it. And like I said, he's been around for quite some time now. He's had a great year like both of our goalies, so he's played extremely well this year. And he's ready to go.
McCabe and OEL looking good for tomorrow?
Kaber's good to go. OEL, I think. We'll see how he is tomorrow.
What do you think when they're back in the lineup for you?
Well, they both, they've been obviously very good D for us this year, and their roles and what they do, both good defenders, penalty kill, power play. They touch all the situations that are needed, and, good experienced defensemen.
Jay said fresh legs will maybe be helpful for him. Do you imagine there'll be any rust or getting up to speed, jumping right into a game one?
Well, it's good they practiced today. Right. I believe that's important to have a full practice with us as a team. So, I think they'll be fine.
Looks like you're keeping your lines together going into game one. Is that just a testament to how well they played down the stretch here?
Yes, for sure. I think they've earned that and played extremely well down the stretch here, and but we'll see tomorrow.
What did Robertson do specifically, do you think, in the last stretch to earn his spot?
Yeah, well, obviously he scored some goals, but it's his work ethic and his competitiveness that really stuck out to me. He's in his speed. He's got great speed, but he's very competitive, and I thought, like I said, his work ethic was very high.
How does the team be a little more careful? Maybe not the right word against a team that draws as many penalties as Ottawa does.
Yeah, we discussed it. I think they lead the league in penalties, and Stutzel's one that draws a lot of penalties. We looked at a lot of that and talked about a lot of it. We got to be disciplined, but you can't be tentative either. We got to play physical and we got to be aggressive and, deal with what we got to deal with. But, it's the stick work and, getting on the wrong side of people and things like that a lot of times causes you to take penalties. So we got to be disciplined. We got to be smart and play hard between the whistles.
Kachuk Pacioretty available to you if need be? Camp Pacioretty?
Yeah, they are.
Kachuk draws a lot of penalties. What sort of challenge is he, just not even on that aspect, but just in general?
Well, he's good at disrupting things out there. That's just part of his game. He's got a lot of gamesmanship. You got to play him hard. Yeah, we understand that, but you got to be disciplined and not react to some of his stuff. And he's at the net a lot too, so I think there's a lot of penalties drawn. He does a great job at the net front, and so we got to make sure we're strong there with that. But I believe he draws a lot of penalties, just being at the net all the time and putting people in tough situations to take penalties.
For Pacioretty, how tempted were you?
Well, yeah, for sure. He's definitely in the conversation all the time. I mean, but I like the way our team played down the stretch here. So, right now in my head, I'm thinking of keeping it the same, but I can make a change by tomorrow.
How much extra confidence does it give this group seeing the way both Anthony Stolarz and Joseph Woll played down the stretch?
Well, a lot of confidence, but it's a team game, and as good as they've been, we got to play good defense and check, and I think our team's done that. So, but definitely we have confidence in both guys.
On the eve of your first, playoff game as coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs, what have you learned on and off the ice about being the coach of this franchise since we met you first in May last year?
Repeat that again.
What have you learned about being the coach of the Leafs on and off the ice and what it means from when we met you last year?
Well, I mean, it's like I've talked before, it's a great organization to work for and to be involved in the hockey market around here. And, I love working with our players and the organization in general. I think more than anything, it's the noise. There's a lot of noise. Got to quiet the noise.
Ryan Reeves is back. How do you think he handled his assignment with the Marlies?
I thought he did a great job. I think, he understood the situation, worked extremely hard, went down, played some games. That's not easy to do. A guy like that's been around the NHL for a long time. But, he's handled it extremely well. And he's back and ready to go.
What's it take to quiet the noise? What's the challenge there?
Well, it's always a challenge, right? And, there's a lot in Toronto for sure. We understand all that. And, you just, I don't know. That's a good question. Don't turn your phone on. Don't turn the TV on.
Wow, let's not go crazy.
Huh? Read the papers? Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it's around. It's part of it. You gotta handle it and deal with it, and go out, compete your ass off, and play as hard as you can. And good things happen. You can control those things. You can control your effort and your competitiveness, and doing what's best for the team. That's controllable things, and that's very important.
Heading into his first postseason as a captain of this team, what stood out about Austin's leadership on and off the ice throughout the entire year?
Leads by example. If you watch practice games, it's he's leading by example 100% all the time. And for me, his play this year, I get his goals have dropped off, not from a lack of attempts or opportunities. It just doesn't always go in. But he played a great 200-foot game for us this year. I think both sides of the puck, penalty kill. He understands, and for me, it's he's a great teammate, leadership-wise, and I think he handles the situations that need to be handled on a daily basis around the team.
How well do you know Travis Green, if at all?
I know him well. Yeah, great guy, good coach. Been around Travis, obviously played against him, but I know him, and he's done a great job there this year. He's got a good team, and they're playing well.
Tim's Donut and Coffee is the original collab. And now, buy any size original or dark roast coffee and get a classic donut for $1. An iconic deal on the iconic duo with a Tim's Dollar Donut. Order on the Tim's app today.
It's time for